What is it? Hold up, would you?
Why is this always? Really, guys?
Let's roll, Tom. Yo, hold up a sec, Doc. Nonsense over there.
That's not what I said.
Whoa, what'd you call me?
What the? Hey, what are you filming me for? Knock it off!
Chill out, man. Why do you care? I don't see anything that says I can't record here.
Enough! Stop!
Just give me a reason. You have one? It's a free country, isn't it?
Whoa! Hey! What gives? You just kicked my sign over!
Ah, that was the wind, man. A big old gust just came through, right?
Yeah, crazy. Just now it whooshed right over.
I told you! Put that down! Come on!
Kids don't seem to give any fucks about people these days.
Agreed. So much for seeing the sights, huh?
Well, you're thinking what I'm thinking, aren't you?
Do you have to ask?
So, anything else you want to accuse us of? I'd say you must be losing it, Pops.
Goddamn brats!
I got that one. He called us goddamn brats. You picking on high schoolers, man?
No, I just don't want you loitering in front of my store. That's all I said, okay? So stop disturbing my customers.
That part's not gonna make the video.
Wow, is that one of those new smartphone models? May I?
What the hell?
Damn, the camera on this thing's amazing, man. Your parents buy it for you?
Holy crap, he kicked Sakaki down.
You must be seeing things, kid. Anyway, your smartphone's kind of dirty, don't you think? Let me see.
Hey! Give me my phone back.
You want it back? I'll give it back, but only if you put this poor restaurant owner's sign back up first.
Asshole. You think you can fuck with us? We're gonna kick your ass! Let's go!
For fuck's sake. These guys are monsters.
Yo. Was that Aikido just now? Oh, don't tell me you've been training at a secret dojo or something.
Just more of my own thing, really. Here.
You really Those were students from Serio High. You'd think private school kids would be better behaved, but they're just as immature.
They look like a bunch of entitled brats.
Well, we've got our fair share of unsavory types. The Yakuza, not to mention those Yokohama Liuman gangsters. Those kids wouldn't dare to mess with them.
So they're selective about their targets.
Yes, they'll only harass you if they think they'll get away with it.
Think they'll be back for more?
I certainly hope not. Come to think of it,
Yeah, but we might ever hear of a detective agency.
That's all right.
sure. Oh, but before that,
Let's hit it. Let's hit it. Yokohama 99.
Whoa, not too shabby. Yo,
If it isn't the man of the hour, Yagami-shi.
Gentlemen, welcome. How are you?
This guy. First he falls off the radar. Now he's got this sweet office. Little shit.
You're still quick as a thief. Maybe a little quicker, actually.
Well, I'd say thief isn't very fair.
It was stealing.
Oh, come on. You know I wasn't doing it to line my own pockets, right? We took from the powerful and gave to the powerless. It was altruism. And it's all in the past now, so let's just leave it at that.
The place is nice, though. It's kind of familiar, even.
It should be. You're our inspiration, Yagami Detective Agency. You guys are the goal.
For sure. So, how about you guys take a load off? If you're ready, I'll give you guys the briefing.
Say what? A briefing, man?
Let him go over what we know.
I've actually got an agenda for today's meeting, too.
An agenda?
Just roll with it. Give him a chance. All the detective talk has made him go a little overboard. I'm sure it'll work itself out.
It's all good. Imitation really is the sincerest form of flattery.
To sum up why we called you, we've been seeing a major upward trend with these kinds of cases. What do you think? Care to take a wild guess?
I'll give you a hint. It's not a problem you'd find in Kamurocho.
So, it's specific to Yokohama?
I know. It's gang warfare. The outfits running Chinatown are at each other's throats, and you guys sort out the aftermath.
Well, we did just hear about the Yokohama Liumang. They're a gang.
Yeah, the Yokohama Liu.
Actually, we haven't run into any gang-related activity at all. No, what we're dealing with isn't so conspicuous. I'll just tell you.
Bullying.
Sometimes parents ask us for evidence to prove their child was bullied. Fairly often, they want these bullies taken to court immediately.
They'll also want to hold the schools accountable. But none of that happens without solid proof.
How old are these kids?
Most of them are in middle school. Research shows that boys at that age experience a sudden spike in testosterone. This leads to outbursts to assert dominance, compounded by the irrationality of an immature brain. Scientifically, this potent mix of impulses often manifests as bullying.
Yeah, I call that puberty.
But that would apply specifically to boys, right? You're getting cases with girls involved too, aren't you?
Ah, with girls, it's more likely rooted in oxytocin, a brain hormone that also has links to bullying. See, oxytocin fosters feelings of attachment, regardless of your gender. For instance, scientists have observed that a mother's oxytocin levels surge when looking at her child.
Then it's not always a bad thing, is what you're saying.
Indeed. Did you know it was oxytocin that enabled cooperation among our primitive ancestors? Ancient matriarchs were particularly vulnerable during childbirth, thus requiring communal support. So you could kinda say the survival and reproduction of our species was largely oxytocin at work. After all, raising a child in the wilderness would have been impossible alone. However, this intense social need bore a dark side. Individuals who failed to contribute were shunned and eventually condemned. Let's say there was a villager who never put in his fair share. All he did was eat the crops. If that became the norm, nobody would work until the village was on the brink of starvation.
And by then it'd be too late.
Precisely. That's why these offenders were punished. Primitive as it was, punishment equated to justice, a necessary measure for society's greater good. And societies with a stricter sense of justice were the ones who endured in the long run. To put this into focus, these people are our direct ancestors.
So from a science perspective, modern-day bullying is just primitive?
More like it's hardwired into our nature.
Hormones are fucked up, huh?
I wouldn't chalk it up to just that. However, we humans do tend to reject what's foreign to us. Whether we're socially awkward or simply misunderstood, those who don't conform are ostracized. That's how it's been since time immemorial. The misfits of civilization are deserving of punishment. All over the world, no matter where or when.
Looks like you guys have been doing your homework.
Tsukumo-kun's the one hitting the books. I'm more in charge of the field work.
Makes sense.
Here's another fun fact while we're at it. An act of betrayal also in those cases, in other words, serving justice, can feel just as good.
Sure, but that's where we have to draw the line. Justice can't be twisted into joy, or it stops serving its purpose.
Very perceptive, Yagami-shi.
So, back to reality.
Ah, yes. He wants us to scour the campus for... That said, he also...
How big is this school?
Let's see. There are 6 classes per grade, making 18 in total. So approximately 600 students. Given that, Sugiurashi and I couldn't possibly vet
We'll be
them all.
meeting the chairman at a restaurant. How about the two of you come join us? You guys are free until... Oh, we already made the rest. The restaurant's name is
Sure.
Kirin.
You didn't...
Let's hit it. Let's roll, Tom. Kyoinro. Looks like this is it.
Are you almost here, Yagamishi?
Actually,
Excellent. Just give the host my name then.
Will do.
Was
Yeah,
this the...
at this rate, he'll...
Without further ado, allow me to introduce Yagamishi and Kaito-san, the gentlemen I mentioned before. They are, without a doubt, the finest private eyes in Kamurocho.
Ah, yes. Tsukumo-san here has certainly been singing your praises. My name is Okuda. I'm the chairman of a private high school, Seirio, if you've heard it.
Seirio High. Isn't that where those kids were from?
Yeah, the ones from earlier.
Is something the matter?
We actually ran into some of your students today. There must have been 7, 8 of them. They were harassing a restaurant worker and recording it on their phone.
Oh boy. And I'm guessing you didn't just stand and watch?
You bet your ass we didn't. Had to knock a little scent.
You mean there was an altercation? Perhaps I should pretend not to have heard that.
Come on, pal. Why don't we cut the formal crap and tell it like it is?
Because that would be unprofessional.
Chairman, we'd like to start investigating tomorrow.
Certainly. Yeah. Our administration has a very We continually ask ourselves, are we taking proper measures to foster a supportive environment? Or, if enmity is already prevalent among the student body, are we addressing their concerns promptly enough? I believe...
And you're hiring detectives?
Oh, yes. I visited your... At that moment, I knew...
Sounds like you walked right out of a commercial.
In most situations we've dealt with, we knew who the problem was beforehand. All we need, but in this case...
Hence why we called in the...
So, I take...
Of course. We're going to... This footage should provide a detailed snapshot of student interaction that would otherwise go unnoticed. Then, after a 2-week test...
Nothing beats a good old-fashioned spy cam.
Yes, but if one of these spy cams were found, the whole operation could be compromised. As such, our...
Damn.
This secret stays between... Do I have that correct?
You do. At any rate. I've heard I'm glad to have such...
So, Yagamishi...
Hey, good idea. We might learn a thing or two from watching...
Way to put me on the spot, guys. But might as well. In the event we do uncover bullying, what action would you take?
Of course, we would provide appropriate counseling, in addition to notifying the local authorities.
Wouldn't that mean increasing the teacher's workload? Interviewing students, filling out paperwork. That could lead to making people not want to bother reporting it.
Sad to say, I can't rule out that possibility. The teachers have so much on their plate as it is. I doubt they'd volunteer to look for any extra trouble. That is why we must strike at the root of it.
What if you offered your staff a bonus for catching any bullies in the act? I know that'd motivate me.
You don't think that'd backfire?
Actually, it might be worth considering. But the fact of the matter remains, bullying has no perfect solution.
Could you elaborate on why you're going the detective route for this?
Like I said, my goal is to nip any bullying in the bud before it can grow any worse.
And it's not enough for the teachers to be on full alert?
Unfortunately, no. I'm afraid I can't fully trust whatever they jot down on some report.
Okuda-san, you mentioned you couldn't trust your teacher's reports. Why is that?
Human error, I suppose. Behavior can be ambiguous, and it is difficult to notice every little detail.
Your first response seemed to hint at something else.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it did.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Where should I begin? You see, folks, it has been almost 4 years since the suicide of one of our students. The poor boy hung himself at home.
You mean because he was being bullied?
Not on paper, at least. We established a committee to investigate, but they never turned up anything. Neither did the court.
Wait, you were taken to court?
Yes. One of the students' parents filed a lawsuit. Now, there were online postings that may or may not have hinted at bullying. But the prosecution never found substantial evidence, and the court ruled we were in the clear.
If I can ask your honest opinion, was there really no bullying, Chairman?
I would like to believe there wasn't. But I may have been too far removed from the classroom to say that in good faith. Every day I watch our students come to school, and what I see are young, happy kids. They're all so full of life, with bright futures ahead of them. However, around 2 months ago, we lost contact with one of our student teachers. Everyone assumes it's a mental health issue.
The hell? Don't tell me he got picked on too.
That could have been the case, but I didn't get enough details to say for sure. From what I'd observed, he appeared to be getting along quite well with the students. But I later heard his... At the end of the day, I'm asking you to shed light on the darkness that's plagued my school. That is why I went the detective route.
So, we never actually resolved this, but we did get into a scuffle with your students. No one got hurt, but how do you feel about that?
I'm afraid I have to remain ignorant of that.
Fine. But let me tell you one thing. Next time I see your students harassing someone, it's gonna be lights out. The kitty gloves are off.
That also part of the Yagami Detective Agency package?
I think this conversation has been enlightening. Any thoughts, Tsukumo?
What else is there? I suppose we'll have to see when we get there. We may have more questions then.
That would be fine.
All right then. Time to dig
Are you
in.
really pretending you waited? You've been nibbling this whole time.
You call this nibbling? Hey, waiter! I want to place an order. And tell your chef, I hope his kitchen can handle this heat.
I take it this place isn't exactly cheap?
Don't you worry about that, Yagamishi. The bill's on us. It's your welcoming party, remember?
In that case. Excuse me. I'm ready to order too.
So, how was that for your first day's work? I realized that meeting was a lot to take in, but
Oh, yeah. What was that you said about using hidden cameras?
tomorrow we'll be deciding where to put them. We don't have all that many, so you know. Oh, and we'll be dressed as Ace.
What? You gonna make us wear uniforms?
Of course. Freshly. As you may recall, only the chairman is aware of our investigation. We must therefore deceive both student and faculty.
Sounds like a plan to me. For now,
You've got a point there. In any case, try to make yourselves at home. Apology.